Welcome back, everybody, to the Campfire Chat here at DBDLeague. We are going to be getting into the second match of the day pretty soon here. And like I hinted at before, the sets are going to be Dredge, Unknown, Singularity between Rapture and Renaissance. Three of my personal favorite killer sets, both to play and play against in competitive DBD. But I have a very special co-caster with me here today. So let me be the first to introduce Direwolf, the commissioner of the DBDLeague. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Prion. And yeah, surprising welcome, everyone. I was supposed to cast the last game of today, but our beloved caster SSB is currently affected by food poisoning. So we send all our wishes and all of our thoughts to him and the recovery. Don't get confused with the caster pictures in the Campfire Chat. And unfortunately, already an announcement with that as well. Since I was not planned to hop in, I kind of have something work-related going on, so you will probably see me disappear for around about 20 minutes, and then Prion is going to lead you through the games like an absolute champ with probably the first solo casting in DBDL in a long time. But Prion is very strong. He can do that. So already a big thank you to him as well. Prion, Renaissance and Rapture, a match that is really important for both of these teams as it's potentially going to be a goodbye for them, and we can already hear in the background Rapture has insane problems at the moment. They might not have a fourth survivor, or they are pulling an emergency sub right now, but that's not really the situation you want to be in a match like today.
No, definitely not Dire, and especially when your first killer that you have to play against is the Dredge, um, which was already an extremely difficult set, and then they buffed the Dredge, and now they're going to have a survivor that they might not be super comfortable with playing with. So it seems like the problems are just mounting for Rapture here, as the Dredge is now an even more difficult set than it was before after his changes.
Yeah, Dredge, as you mentioned, is a killer where you really have the coordination that needs to be on point, right? Especially during the nightfall, you want to make sure that you're aware where he is. The same goes with all the teleportations. Call outs need to be on point. They need to be really quick, so your survivor team can also move away from the generators in case the killer is coming over there. Having a sub survivor, which they found now, they are describing it as incredibly unfortunate circumstances in the background. I think that's a good way to put it. We are going to see Dago coming in, 200 millisecond abuser, the username in Discord. Will be interesting to see that. Apparently they have scrimmed together a couple of times, but yeah, team chemistry, very important. And the same goes a little bit for the second killer of today, the Unknown. You talked about it, but Unknown has recently put so much pressure onto survivor teams and is also a very loved killer in the comp area.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not any different than the rest of the comp players with that. I love the Unknown. He's probably one of the best received original killers of the last few years, I would wager. Just there's so much going on with his power, but the way that it all intersects just makes for such a fun chase. Whether you're on the killer, there's so many moving parts. You have to hit your shots. There's so many cool plays that you can go for with the teleports as well. And then on the survivor side, the 1v1 with the Unknown is just so fun. The way that you have to manipulate your camera to look at him, the timing windows with getting rid of the weakened. It's just, I can't say enough good things about the Unknown. And that's why I'm always so happy that he's very loved in the comp community. He's picked almost every week.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. The killers we have received, especially the original ones, were not always satisfying the community. Unknown, definitely a pick right there. From the get-go, prominent in the scrims, a lot of counter strategies, a lot of great plays going on. We just remember the insane shot from Ultra, from Team Cynic. We're going to see them later today as well in Season 9, bouncing the shots off trees around the map. And when you're really into this killer, killer, you can get so much done. The one killer where I have a little bit of a trauma based on the 1 hour match from season 9 is the Singularity. Also a very interesting killer. A lot is going on the map as well. You have these cameras where you can kind of watch the survivors, keeping track of your generators. On the other hand, the survivor team constantly in the difficult decision: do we go for the EMP, do we destroy the killer power, or are we just sticking to the generators but taking a little bit of extra risk? So that's going to be the difficulty here for today. How do you see the Singularity on the tiebreaker?
Yeah, the Singularity is another personal favorite of mine. I play him a lot, and even in competitive settings as well. I love to play Singularity, and it's a very unique set for survivors. There's a lot of different strategies that they can take, whether that's like going for generating a lot of EMPs at once and then using them on the biopods on the generators, or they can hover another survivor's chase and use the EMPs to remove the biopod from the survivor's back. But the Singularity strategy really comes through from the killer side. There's so many different play styles that you can go for with this killer. You can hard hold a 3 gen and try to lock down an area. You can play more loosely and just go for chases over and over again, because if you have a lot of people slipstreamed, Singularity can be anywhere on the map at once, instantly starting chases. So you see kind of that dichotomy with the killer players in the Singularity sets. Some of them are going to be going extremely aggressive, and other ones are going to be turtling and trying to hold a 3 gen. Personally, I always think that the chasing style is better with Singularity because of how insane his mobility is. The few times that we've seen the 3 gen style come out, I've only seen it work once. Usually these survivors in the competitive settings, they're good enough now to kind of see through that when a killer is trying to do that.
Yeah, that's interesting to know, though, that the survivor team effectively has developed counter strategies over time that are now so strong that the killer strategies do not work anymore. And ideally, this is what Comp DBD is trying to achieve, right? Finding the best strategy on the killer side as quick as possible after the release. And then, if slowly but steady, the survivors are making sure that they are developing counter strategies, awareness for certain powers or combinations with perks, and then develop great comeback strategies and great counters. This is ideally what we are trying to do here in Comp DBD, trying to find ideal game plans and then going through confidently with them. Prion, we are loading in already, so we are going to have a very quick talk about Rapture and Renaissance. As I mentioned, both teams need to win to have the chance making it into the playoffs. A lot of pressure on the shoulders. Renaissance was taking the win yesterday. They have to play twice this weekend. Some teams are affected due to the rotating group stage. Who do you see as the stronger team today here, Renaissance, or is it going to be Rapture?
I think I would have to go with Renaissance here because they're playing with all 4 survivors that they know. And then Rapture has an emergency sub. But we are starting the game here. Dyer, if you want to quickly give your prediction as well.
My prediction is also going to fall on Renaissance. They played really, really well yesterday. Rapture had the first strong game as well, yet it's already a little bit ago, especially with the delay that we had on the desync issue. So the last time they played in KHL, they must be a little bit rusty in worst case. And we already see Blood Favor is again the choice to go for here. It seems to be an agreement across all killers in the All Hallows League so far, protected with an Undying as well. And when you already protect your Hex Totems, then you can, on top of that, bring in a Hex Ruin. And honestly, Brian, this makes a lot of sense because Dredge has a very nice ability to keep all survivors on their feet.
Yeah, so Prion is going to go down there, first down there for DW, and that's going to be not a pain resonance there, so he's going to immediately take the teleport away towards this generator in the upper hallway, going to start regressing that with Ruin, and Chase now starting onto Pro on this Atom. Goes into this classroom here. He does have a filler pallet. He does have a Remnant here to play, but he's not really dropping it just yet. Pro is going to chain it into another classroom, and DW is actually just going to leave. He's going to break the pallet and teleport elsewhere.
Kind of difficult situation from the get-go. Ryan a lot quicker on the ground than the survivor team would like to ask for. Now they have to already take care of the unhook. Quick with that. That's going to be the hit onto Crow, but it's not going to be a trade. That's always important when you're moving in, especially in the early game. You don't want to hand out too many stages. Nice attempt here with the teleport, but it was expected. Ryan therefore able to reach the next pallet, and it's such a strong one that DW has no chance but dropping it. But what's going on right here? What a mistake. But Ryan going back into the killer. Very unfortunate situation here. That could be a much quicker down than you would hope for on the side of Rapture. Luckily he's able to go away with the sprinters of 99, making this very necessary distance. And this is a little bit of a deja vu here. We have been here on this window before, and it's not been too good for the survivor. Therefore understandable that we're going to try and play this pallet, expecting the teleport, but it's not coming out just yet. First generator being completed, definitely a nice sign for the survivor team here. Yet I think the killer is more than happy, already taking the second hook stage on the survivor.
Yeah, Dyer, and I just want to mention there, I don't think that was actually a 99 sprint burst from Prion. He is actually using Blood Rush to erase his mistake there and get another sprint burst. But Adam is going to go down from basic attack from the dredge. He does have deliverance, but this is going to be just yet another hook during nightfall. He can probably unhook himself. This is going to be mounting pressure here on the survivors as the teleport away comes in very quickly. And I mean, he now has a very good position to defend this hook, making sure that Ryan can't get unhooked here. He's now chasing nice mind game there onto Fasty. He does not respect the pallet. Deliverance is going to come in, and what is DW going to do here? He's going to break a lock, but he really wants to secure Ryan here, I feel.
I'm very worried for the survivor team of Team Rapture here. Ryan on the hook for just a few more seconds. In the other case, you will have the elimination, and Diego is really the only survivor who can go for anything. Fasty is getting reset, but it's going to be tricky to make that in time. Yet the dredge also guarding the survivor right here, and we do see it right now. Ryan is going to be eliminated. 2 generators have been completed. That's probably not the worst progress for the survivor team so far, but it's far away from having an optimal start into this game. And we talked about it in the campfire chat. Rapture must take the win today, otherwise they are almost out of the tournament. On top of that, they are having an emergency sub that was added 5 minutes before the game. On a quick rule reminder there, every team can make 1 roster adjustment throughout the tournament. It's very unfortunate though if the adjustment is needed in this context. So Prion, I think as a recovery medicine, we need a very good chase during the mid game here, because if we're not managing to keep the dredge busy for quite some time, that's going to be a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, and that's going to be another hit coming in on too Fasty. And guess what, Dyer? Blood Favor is still up. And that's going to be really bad for the survivors with only 3 people alive, and pallets on the map are getting thinner and thinner. There is still 1 god pallet over here on this stairway side of the map, so that's going to be 4 god pallets on Midwich and gone. He's going to choose to take that as a reward and go over to another generator. Nightfall has started, and he's going to be taking chase onto Fasty here, who's injured here in the upper level of the school. This is where the survivors can tend to fall apart in these dredge sets, Dyer. The Nightfall is so fast. Teleporting is honestly really hard to deal with how fast it comes out. And Fasty there, he actually gets a really good pallet stun there onto the dredge, and he might have just left him. Yeah, he teleports elsewhere, is going to go on to Daigo now. And is this a visual bug? Is the dredge invisible, Dyer?
Seems to be, yeah, the case. Now, at least from our side, we can cell again. It seems though that the survivors are fine at least, so we're not having a new bug or DLC even unlocked here where you can go invisible with your killers for $12.99 in the Steam store, and Vasti with a nice fake attempt, but unfortunately not enough. Will still take the hit into the back, and now Crow and Diego need to be very, very careful with the next steps here, because the Dredge with the teleportation can move across the map really fast, and if he's catching you while you're injured, you might have a very difficult time. Therefore, let's see if they're going for the reset, if they even find the chance to go for a reset. Here we have also the chance to witness one of these very new interesting pallets that were added to the Midwich Elementary School.
I can't believe he broke that pallet, Dyer.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same. Very interesting, very weak, but it seems to be difficult enough for a Dredge at least. Yeah, 3 injuries, Prion. Right now, no one in chase might be a good point to consider a full reset here.
Looks like he's going to find a chase here onto Diego. There hasn't been a chase yet in this library area, so all of the pallets are still standing. Going to make it up to the bookcase pallet here. He's probably gonna know he doesn't even need to set a remnant there. He just has a classic red light mind game, and that's going to be the down onto Diego, and he's going to go straight back to another generator. DW really wants to hold on to these generators and keep the Nightfall rolling with his yellow add-on that increases the Nightfall charge for each injured survivor. He's going to be slugging quite a bit. He wants to get all of these survivors on the ground and secure the best possible result for his team. He really wants this for him.
Yeah, this survivor right now is better running like a Fasti to make sure that he's getting some distance in and keeping the Dredge busy around the window here. 3 walls would be possible, but it's not really the position you want to be in. A locker juke was probably attempted right there, but it's not going to be enough time for that either. Crow is getting the full reset. Dredge wants to make sure that this is not going to happen, at least not until Diego is teleporting to the right location and has the 2 survivors over here. Crow now in the courtyard of the Midwich, and the injured survivor unfortunately in the next chase here. Unfortunate for the survivors, very great for the killer, and bring it to a quick end as well. He knows that Crow is currently not working on a generator, as we have just seen the pickup in the distance. So right now the survivor team not with any chance going for another objective here, so a 4k3 starts to become realistic, and that will be quite a horrible win condition for the upcoming set.
Yeah, he needs to get this down onto Fasti very quickly and then find the healthy survivor, the Atom. It's just a race against the clock here for the survivors, but this slugging playstyle means that just nobody has time to do gens. Another down comes in onto Fasti, and he's actually going to pick up this time. Maybe now finally going to rely on those pain resonance stacks that he hasn't used yet. As the hook comes in, and I'm not sure if that was pain resonance or if it hit any generator. Looks like it was not. So I'm not entirely sure why he chose to hook Fasti there, as he's been slugging up until now.
Yeah, it would have been great if we had the pain res to go for this final regression on the generators. Hex would have been located here in this what I call IKEA loop, since you can build yourself a house over here, and it seems to be that our survivor wants to waste as much time as possible, which will be tricky though, since we have the teleportation. Crow is going to take the injury, happily taking the sprint burst away, but won't make too much of a run. That's already going to be the down. Fasti being unhooked now by Diego, so once again no chance to work on any generators, and this is something that DW has achieved for himself for a couple of minutes now consistently, that the survivors have such a long to-do list, resets, pickups, getting yourself from the hook, that they are not able to touch a generator. I think the last time they touched one of these objectives is already 4 or 5 minutes ago. Very great performance here by DW, taking another injury here as well, and now the survivor kinda locked down here in the corner. That means the Vasti has to rotate in, but we're not too far from the hooked survivor, so it might all come an end here.
Yeah, Unhook is going to come in there onto Daigo, or onto Crow, but the ace is not going to make it very far, And this, Dire, is what the killer has been waiting for. He has eyes on the last survivor. He's going to be able to get the chase here. He comes out of the locker, cuts off the Atom. I believe this is going to be it for Rapture.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate ending with the substitute survivor that had to be added last second. Very rough first try under the pressure of taking a win today to stay in the tournament. Then emergency sub 5 minutes before the match, and now 4K with 3 generators standing. We can only assume how difficult that feels for Team Rapture at the moment. On the other hand, of course, they have to take responsibility for it, and they will have to get that out of their mind, because honestly, if you're the killer for Team Rapture now and you need 4K on 4 generators, that's pretty insane, right? So you better get that out of your head and just try to get the best game possible.
Yep, so sacrifice Tobago. We finally secured 4K3. And as Dire said, it is not going to be a very easy time for Rapture here. It actually comes out right on top of the hatch. Very nice game sense there from DW. As, yeah, this dredge set, really hard. And even harder when you're playing with somebody that you might not be scrimming with, or you may not know all of their comm preferences. But we're going to be flipping the sides here, going over to Rapture on the killer for this dredge set after a short break. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Midwich Elementary School. We have Ryan for Team Rapture on the dredge with a monumental 4K4 win condition here. But before we get into the gameplay, a little bit of housekeeping. I am going to be solo casting this game for you guys, so please bear with me. Direwolf had a very important situation that he has to go and attend to, since he didn't even originally plan to be casting today. So please be patient with me. It's just going to be me for you guys today with this Rapture game until he gets back. So no chases started yet here for Ryan, as survivors are going to be starting the double generator, and Chase now starting onto Ace in this long hallway, and he's going to be giving a free hit. Really not what you want to do against the dredge, and that is a very interesting perk choice from Ryan. He has the 3rd seal. Now this God Palette here in the corner is very playable with the Remnant, as we see Ryan going for here, waiting for the vault, going to go for the vault, and he gets the down. That is a very unique God Palette, and that dredge can just kind of hard counter it as long as he has Remnant up. So first down there, going in onto Skeng, and he's going to be hooked in the basement here. Ryan's build is quite interesting, if I'm being honest. It's going to be Wretched Fate with 3rd seal and Ruin, and then Undying on top of that. All totems. And he's going to be probably going for a slugging playstyle. He needs to find some sort of opening once he gets Nightfall here. And nice hit there onto the Dwight through the pallet, and this room is a dead end. So the Dwight might briefly be able to get out of this room, but he's not going to make anything here. I can't believe he got hit through that pallet there. You do not want to get stuck in that room against this killer, or any killer for that matter. The dredge just has it even better because of his Remnant. So Ryan now going to slug that and try to go back towards the basement hook. He wants to apply 3rd seal to everybody here so that he can try to snowball and get this 4K4 win condition. So door broken there in the bottom library. He's going to find Reflection here in the library. Goes walking towards the Remnant now. Going to vault the pallet instead, and he actually should make it over to this bookcase pallet. Nice mind game, though, from Ryan. And he does have a Hex Totem in the top library there. So Skeng looking like he's going to go to 2nd there in the basement as Chase continues here onto Reflection. He's going to hold W away from that drop pallet and go all the way into the corner. 3 survivors now have the 3rd seal applied to them. And my question is, what has Renato been doing all this time? Maybe a generator, and that is going to be the down onto Reflection there. And I would imagine Ryan is going to slug. Nightfall has begun, and yeah, 2 survivors now in Chase after that teleport. There is a generator with about 75% progress. Ryan needs to find that quickly and get the down onto the Dwight. He is doing the generator injured. but he's not quite going to find the Dwight. He's actually going to find the healthy Renato. This is really not what you want right now, Ryan. You're going to lose your win condition if you don't find SH doing that gen. Good Remnant mind game there, but he actually gets a little bit turned around. That's so unlucky. He had the positioning there, but the generator is going to pop in the distance. That's probably from SH there on the Dwight. So that is going to be the tie condition met for Renaissance. They need one more gen here if they want to get this win condition, but Ryan is fighting tooth and nail to keep them off of these gens. They really need to reset, though. Everybody is injured. One is on the ground, and the third seal is making them all blind. Now, perks like the third seal have a diminished effect in competitive DBD because people can just kind of tell each other where they are. Oh, but he gets stuck on the box there. It was a good attempt at the Remnant mind game, but just not enough for Ryan. And he's going to predict the vault here, but nice reaction time there from the Dwight. Places another Remnant and just immediately goes back to it. Good play there from Ryan. He's going to get the down onto SH, but resets are coming in the distance. Only one injured survivor now, and that survivor has deliverance. That's got to be deliberate here from Renaissance. Now, excuse me while I take a drink real quick. Ryan now on the hunt for more survivors. He finds a low generator regressing with Ruin, and that's going to be a healthy ace here. Places the Remnant down, but looks like the ace was able to hold W there. That might have been Lithe. So the Remnant play on the window not going to work out, and that's just going to waste even more time. He goes for the teleport, but Skang has already made it upstairs, and it looks like this is starting to slip away from Ryan here. As the hit is going to come in onto Not, but he is the deliverance survivor, so not much pressure going to be accrued from hooking him if he's even able to catch him. Nightfall approaching here. Ryan really wants to get this Nightfall going. It's honestly his last chance here to turn this game around. He has to find something here in the Nightfall. That's kind of how the Dredge works. It's a lot weaker until it starts. Uses his power, and that is going to start Nightfall. He's got a couple of survivors nearby here, but he really needs to block off this window. He's going to place the Remnant, and Ace going around the pallet. Is he going to fall for it? No, nice play there from Ace. He's going to delay the hit a little bit longer. The Remnant was placed in a little bit of an awkward spot there, and he's going to be able to chain that into another filler pallet. Remnant coming out here. He teleports back to it, but I don't think he makes that. Okay, he does make it. Nice play there from Ryan, but he has to slug. He has to go back to the other generators. If he loses one more, it is over for Rapture. These survivors down there going to teleport to the generator. Ruin is still up. All of his totems are still up. Even Wretched Fate. So it's going to be a 33% debuff to the Obsession. He doesn't have a good locker, though, onto Reflection, so he's going to have to leave. Skeng still on the ground here as Reflection is going to hop on a gen injured, and now we're chasing in the chem room. SH here on the Dwight. He's going to leave the room, hold W, and one more generator pops in the distance. So that is going to be the win for Renaissance. Very well played by these survivors. Brian, good try, but actually, if you think about it, the way that killers have to set their builds early and send them in, I think Ryan was always planning to go for this slugging playstyle. You can't exactly adjust your build to the win condition anymore like you were able to in previous seasons of DBDLeague. So Reflection now in chase. He doesn't really have much left besides this window. So now the Remnant window mind game is finally going to come through. Going to get the hit on that medium vault there. There's really not much you can do in those scenarios against the Dredge, unless the other classroom still has a pallet in it, which, as you can see, this one does not. So, one totem finally going to be eliminated. It's a wonder that they've survived this long without cleansing any of those totems. But then you realize that Ryan's not even running Blood Favor, so maybe it's not a wonder. That would probably be my only complaint with this build, is that if we've seen one perk thus far in the All Hallows League that is ubiquitous among every single killer, Blood Favor. The only killer that I would say probably isn't running it is Nurse. But Nurse doesn't really need to be normal in situations like that. Give a comp player Blood Favor, they're going to run it, and they're never going to run anything else. That's just how strong that perk is. So I'm really surprised we're not seeing it from Ryan here. but another Nightfall charging up here. Going to teleport to this locker and actually gets baited there by Not. He's going to run over into this locker room now. Immediately drops the pallet. Swing gonna miss from Ryan. He's going to place a remnant here at the corner. He can see this Renato over the lockers. That's so unfortunate for him. Sorry, I was yawning right there. Solo casting is a little bit difficult, but pickup now coming in onto Not. And I mean, this is going to be a deviation from the slugging playstyle that we saw before. Nightfall still somewhat active. As a slow vault comes in there from SH, very ambitious there. But the chase is actually going to be onto nobody in particular. I thought he was, no, okay, it is on Reflection. So Reflection in Nightfall here at this. Actually, that was a really long-range remnant play there. Actually kind of smart from Ryan. He was cooking, but whatever it was, the recipe was not finished. And Reflection just happens to run straight back into him. This is a lot of chaos going on here with one extremely long-range remnant play into someone running into the killer, and now we're going to have another mind game here coming out. And actually, the slow vault there from SH is going to confuse Ryan enough that he should... Okay, now he's going to get hit on this pallet, but he does make it away from that window that's usually a death trap. So I'd say that's a win for SH. So slow vaulting away when the dredge is out of line of sight of you can sometimes beat those remnant mind games. The hook is now going to come in onto Reflection. Another generator is going to pop in the distance, and Ryan teleports across the map. He needs to try to figure out who is doing this last generator, and it's going to be Not here coming in for the unhook. Full reset going in on Ace and Dwight at the top of the library. And it looks like we have another situation at this window, but he's not going to choose to chase this time. He wants Reflection out of the game. Reflection is dead on hook. He needs this Yoichi gone, and actually... I think running towards the music room here, which is probably going... No, it's the library, which is where survivors are waiting to take a hit. So, very nice heads-up play there from Reflection. I think SH is going to go down here on the Dwight. Unlucky there, but at least it's not Reflection who is dead on hook. Final generator is almost about to be completed here, and they are going to commit to this. They just want all the generators done. Down is going to come in onto Not, but good play there from the survivors. Remember, they've already won this game just by popping 3 generators. So they just want to get as many generators done as they can and maybe get some escapes here as Reflection is on the door. Getting escapes in this dredge set is quite impressive, especially since the killer was very much buffed recently. Door is going to be opened, but Reflection knows he doesn't make it there. And I think that was a dead hard there. Nice play there from Reflection. Ryan eats the dead hard. Very good play from Reflection, as he's going to make it out towards the door. And now it's up to Skang to see if he can make it to the other door. I'm not sure if that one's open though. He's got a pallet here, but he's not going to make it very far. Reflection hasn't left yet, so you gotta wonder if the survivors are maybe resetting, or no, it seems like they're just buying time here. Maybe gonna reset in the top of the library to get as many escapes as they can. Reflection forced out the door. That's gonna be one stage out so far for Team Renaissance. Reflection is dead on hook. Nightfall has begun though, and they are going to get found with Killer Instinct. Sprint burst coming out from our Dwight, but I don't think it's gonna take him very far. He is going to get a good vault there, but a little bit of wide pathing there. I think he is gonna go down on this next hit. So Skang and SH both on the ground now. Not. Will he leave or will he try to pick up? Oh, looks like he is going to pick up the ace, and that's going to be 3 survivors making it out the door for Team Renaissance. A decisive win in the dredge set. So thanks for bearing with me on the solo cast. As far as I know, this is going to continue in the unknown set, as we have SH finally maybe getting picked up here. Ryan's going to be breaking a door there. I'm not really sure. He must just not know. The hatch is closed, and this is going to be the end of the game in favor of Team Renaissance. So yeah, I think SH is just AFK in the corner. I think the hatch might have actually been right there. Unlucky for him, but looks like Ryan can't find him, and Dwight is going to bleed out. So 1 kill for Ryan, really not what you want in this dredge set, but he's going to be able to come right back on Team Rapture's pick, which is going to be the Unknown. It's a really exciting set. Much more fast-paced even than this dredge set sometimes. I would say they're pretty equal, but maybe less slugging in the Unknown set. So I need a break. I need something to drink. Or usually I would want to stay and talk with you guys about the next set, but the solo cast will continue unless Dyer comes back anytime soon. So we're going to be going to a short break, and I'll see you guys soon. Welcome everybody now to the Unknown set between Rapture and Renaissance. We have Ryan on the Unknown, looking to tie this series up 1-1 in favor of Rapture, keeping themselves in this game. And remember, Rapture needs this win to try to keep themselves in the tournament at all. So Ryan here, all of the pressure is on him, on this Unknown killer. Already hard enough to play and competitive. He's going to land a hit onto the Dwight here and goes over towards the shack. Blood Favor going to be activated. Survivors now know how to deal with Blood Favor. They just need to hold W and go to the nearest pallet that's unaffected. So Break going to be coming in on the shack pallet almost instantly, and he's giving chase here onto SH. He did land a weakened hit onto Reflection earlier in the match, and it looks like Reflection was not able to remove that. So UVX shot going to be coming in. Oh, just too late though. Bounces it off the front of the pallet, and that's going to mean that it just doesn't get the weakened blast radius. Nice little mind game there on the double window, and that's going to be the first down for Ryan. Relatively quick first down for him. So good stuff there. No generators have been completed yet, but I'd imagine one is being doubled right now, as we have Reflection doing a gen alone with his weakened status effect. One survivor rotating in to get the save, and actually less gen progress than I thought coming out from Team Renaissance, as the first hook is going to come in near the top side even, and that is the Deliverance survivor being put on the hook first. So very unfortunate for Team Renaissance, but a very good start for Ryan. And it looks like he's almost going to get farmed there. Gets hit with the weakened at the hook. Ryan is going to teleport down the map to try to cut them off. Another hallucination is going to spawn in the mid-map. He's looking for the scratch marks here. He has 3 survivors weakened, finds the pools of blood, and he's going to be going now down towards the top side of the map. He finds the chase that he's looking for here onto the Dwight, but he misses the UVX shot. That might mean that the weakened is going to get removed any second now. He tries to hide behind the rock, but that is a low percentage shot. That is not going to land against a competitive survivor, as I think that was a balanced landing maybe coming out for the Dwight. Not entirely sure. He's able to get away from the hill there, and another missed UVX shot there onto Reflection. He's going to be able to remove his weakened at the cost of getting hit. But Ryan now going to leave that chase and teleport towards the top of the map, bottom of the map once again. What a shot there, banking off the water tower. Very nice UVX there from Ryan, making up for his previous missed shots. 1 generator is going to go in the distance, so we're now at 4 remaining. Second hook now for the Deliverance survivor of SH. That's going to be that was a balanced landing, I believe, earlier from the Yoichi. But, so SH here now on the hook. They're trying to reset Reflection. Ryan here definitely has a path to victory, though, if he's able to get a tunnel out onto SH. He's got a nice little area of hallucinations here in the bottom side of the map, and he's trying to use them to counter the whole run away from the generators strategy that you so often see in competitive DBD. Only 1 gen left though on the top side of the map, so I think Ryan might be switching his play style here to defend the bottom side of the map. And the survivors have realized this. As you can see, the Death Hook survivor is now taking chase towards the top side of the map. He's going to have most of the main building to work with here, especially because Ryan misses that UVX shot. Those shots are so crucial on this killer, you can't miss those. He's going to be going for the window now. Eats the UVX blast in exchange for getting to that strong window, and now Ryan needs to hit this follow-up shot. That's going to be the pallet dropped very quickly over there by the backside of the main building. Goes for a mortar shot, and it's not going to land. That should allow SH to get rid of his weakened before the next shot comes out. Playing this filler pallet here, goes for the shot, and oh no, he hits his own hallucination. He had time there to get the injury, but his own hallucination got in the way. Is going to eventually get the down, but I guess this is now a good time to bring up the slashed backpack add-on, which means that your own hallucinations can be shot. Originally, that shot might have actually killed SH, but because of the yellow add-on, it takes 1 more second to complete. So another teleport coming in. Can't believe they didn't clear that hallucination there on reflection, and that's going to be instant pressure here. Another chase, another weekend, and with 2 generators remaining and 3 people alive, Ryan is in a really good spot here. He just needs to get these Grim Embrace stacks going. And he's going to take a dry kick there on that generator at the TL wall. So he's got 3 gens on the bottom side of the map and 1 on the top. One of them is more kind of in the middle though, and now going to be chasing on a reflection here. Nice little bounce there off of the hook, and reflection in a really bad spot right now. You don't really make that much distance. A hit going to be coming in, but it's too late. Not here. He's in danger now from the UVX blast. He's going to be taking good pathing around this box, but it doesn't matter. Ryan is going to get 2 downs here. Very nice play from him. Very explosive gameplay, and that's going to be another gen completed in the distance. But now the last standing survivor is in chase for Team Renaissance. Disaster for Team Renaissance here as Ryan just lands hit after hit with his UVX blaster. And he's going to go for a final one here. Predicts the dodge, but just barely misses. That was a low percentage shot though, so I can't blame Ryan for missing it. He's going to get another down onto the Yoichi there. Pickup tag has begun as Ace now goes towards the shack. Is he going to be able to pick up the Renato here? I'm not sure if he's ready. Okay, he is. And now he has to choose here. Who is he going to take? Picks the Ace out of the locker. Only 1 survivor left standing, and he's going to go for the drop. Reflection here. I'm not sure what his pickup timer is. Okay, 2 survivors now up. Looks like Renaissance have sort of recovered from this. He's going to go for the teleport, though, onto the Renato. He doesn't want him to make it down towards the bottom side of the map. Misses the swing there. And that is going to be crucial here. He knows he doesn't have time anymore. Throws the UVX blast over towards the downed Ace. He is not going to pick up, though. He really wants to keep as many of these survivors as he can in the bottom side of the map. I think somebody is behind the gen there, but I don't think there's anybody behind that gen. Reflection held W there. So Reflection now in chase over at this TL wall. Needs to be removing his weekend here. He's gonna go down to the M1 mind game at the double window. It's not a very strong tile, but in the distance, 2 survivors going to be picked up, and he's going to now find Skeng once again at the shack. He's going to get the UVX blast here. And honestly, if I were him, I would just leave. You don't want Skeng removing his weekend. You want to have as many survivors weekend as you can so that you don't have to hit them later. Now, looks like Chase is continuing on to Ace at the shack. These survivors are going to continue to be picked up. But no, Ryan is actually going to teleport down the map because he doesn't want these survivors to make it away from the generators and reset. He needs to keep them on their toes here. And, I mean, in my opinion, he should probably start hooking for Grim Embrace with 1 generator to go, but he hasn't quite done that yet. Going to be another weakened shot there onto Not. Playing this God Rock filler. It's not exactly safe against the Unknown. He's holding W now, barely misses that UVX shot, and Ryan is just going to leave. He needs to get something here, and he's going to find this Ace here in the corner. Another missed UVX shot. That's unfortunate. He has been hitting those up until very recently, so 1 more down coming out onto Skeng, and that's going to be even more slugging for Ryan here. He really wants to hold on to these last generators. He's going to get a dry kick there onto the top side generator by the hill, and he's going to quickly find another chase. Multiple generators here have somewhat decent progress on them. And if I were the survivors from Renaissance, I think you need to be resetting right now. It's going to find the would-be savior of Skeng here at the main building, and that's going to be Not on the Renato. He needs to kick this pallet, though. This pallet was thrown so long ago, and that pallet being up almost makes the main building an infinite. So another pickup going to come in there onto the down survivor in the corner. He continues chase here at this main building. He has a hallucination over there, but I doubt Not is going to go towards it. So he's just going to leave again. All the way across the map, going over into the corner, thinking that they might be resetting, and he would be correct. He's going to find reflection here in the corner. This is going to be probably another slug here. I'm still just not sure if I agree with all of this slugging when you have potentially free value from Grim Embrace just sitting on the table. But anyways, Skeng is now healthy. Not is working on a topside generator on his own. They do have a pretty decent gen split here. Oh, but he runs into the killer. Didn't know where the hallucination was coming in from, and that's going to be a really good down there for Ryan. And so 2 survivors on the ground now. 1 more survivor is going to be picking up in the corner. And it looks like they're going to try to full reset. Not sure if that's a good idea, though. Okay, so he is going to pick up now. Finally wants to get some value out of that Grim Embrace. Generators are going to be blocking. Immediately teleport back over here and get on these survivors that are just resetting in the corner. They really just don't have anywhere to go once they pick each other up in this corner. And he's, again, just going to leave the ace with the weakened status effect. Nice attempt at a long-range shot there, but it's not going to land. There's not quite enough range there to hit onto reflection. As he's going to now teleport all the way over to the other side of the map. He really wants to deny this unhook as well. He knows that this topside generator did have some decent progress and that the injured ace would be the one that would be coming for this unhook. So really wants to find Skeng here, who still has the weakened status effect on him.
And I'm back, Prion! Welcome everyone to the
Welcome back, player.
What did I miss? Fill me in real quick.
You missed Renaissance winning game 1 in a very decisive fashion, and this is going to be this is set 1 of game 2, and Ryan is having a pretty good game on this one.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. 1 generator standing, 1 elimination already. Looks exactly how you would love to see it. Now, chasing reflection here, obviously the healthy survivor is a bit tricky, but not if you're having great teleports like that. Now reflection here in the corner of the map with the Blood Favor. Seemed like he's a little bit surprised that Blood Favor is still in the match, and that's going to be a very punishing almost 2-tap here in the corner of the map. Yet they are doubling up on the other side. That should be enough time to get the final generator done, you would hope at least, for the side of Renaissance, so that the dream of a 2-0 keeps living. Will they be committing? The answer is yes, but it costs another one, and that's at least going to be the 5% kick. And now, Prion, I'm asking myself, was that maybe a little bit too much gamble?
Yeah, it really is such a gamble in those scenarios where is he going to kick the gen or is he going to grab the survivor? And Ryan, there, the king of mind games, he's going to kick the generator and prevent them from committing to it. So it's just not standing now with the weakened status effect still on him. Quite a bit of weakened remaining. And he is going to have to be the one to pick up these survivors here, Dire. And I'm not sure if Ryan knows where he is, though, and that's really important.
Trying to catch the final survivor, that it has to wait a little bit because you don't want to get too greedy now. You want to make sure that you take the hook stages that are currently on the floor, want to get the few advantages on the second win condition and on the third one in this case as well, with hooking the individual survivors. In case you're wondering what would happen with Reflection, who's currently bleeding out on the floor, the killers do not have to worry about bleedouts anymore since season 9, so they would get the 3 hook stages and the individual hook stage just like a normal kill. The rescue is coming in. Skeng is going to find his way to the bottom side of Suffocation Pit, and the rescue is still around. Ryan realizes that as well and wants to catch that survivor, because otherwise, if you would now go towards the shack side, Not would start to work on this round about 75% generator right now. Teleport to the bottom of the map as soon as the reset is coming through, as he remembers where Reflection was downed earlier and was expecting that they are still in the area. The answer is no, though. They have taken the reset and got themselves out of here. So Ryan is going to lose a little bit of time, but not too much, as the survivors have already been located. Next chase coming out, Reflection taking an injury as he was waiting on this pallet over here and teleporting back towards the generator that has the biggest amount of progress. So I really love how Ryan is playing a back and forth here with this survivor team, basically keeping a side onto everything and ultimately everything under control.
Yeah, and that's going to be another down onto Not here, and he is going to pick this one up. We have Sting and Reflection both healthy here in the middle of the map, and it's going to be Reflection working on this bottom side generator that has significantly less progress than the top side one, but this top side generator has been kicked a great many times now, with survivors being hooked next to it over and over. So if Renaissance want to finish all the gens here, they need to be working two different ones, and that's what Reflection's doing now.
Ryan on the grind for the 4K here, on the grind to bring back the hopes for the Rapture fans, yet Reflection has something against it, and he's already working on the generator, trying to bring back the pressure that they had that was ultimately lost a little bit with overcommitting to the generator. And as we often say, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes it's better to take what you have at the moment. So the survivors probably regretting right now that they tried with the double slug earlier to go for the generator. Skeng over here being punished for trying to dispel.
This is huge, Dire.
Illusion. That is really huge, because now with Reflection being all the way down there and needing quite an amount of time, Skeng better not going down on the floor, but Not is also most likely not getting rescued in time.
Yeah, he went for the dispel on the hallucination there, and Ryan was ready for it. He teleports in right as he's completing the animation, and you know, getting interrupted on a hallucination like that is essentially death, and that's going to be a nice shot there onto Reflection, snowballing even more pressure for Ryan, and Not is going to die on the hook. This is surely the end for Team Renaissance. Ryan's work has paid off, and I think he's going to secure this 4K Dire.
So sad for Team Renaissance. They were on the edge to taking it, on the edge with that final generator, and trying to make sure that they are going through it. And now Skeng would need to play the ultimate hide and seek game. And let us remind you of something, ladies and gentlemen. The hatch or the exit gates are not even an option for the end game for Team Renaissance, because we changed the rule about the end game. The hatch escape or exit gate escape only counts when you have repaired all the generators. We wanted to remove this RNG factor, one team having good exit gates, the other ones having difficult exit gates, and then having a little bit of an advantage while not all the generators were repaired. So ultimately, yeah, nice try there, expecting the teleport, but Skeng going down as well. And Ryan did it. Ladies and gentlemen of Team Rapture, Ryan did it, and he did it in a very stylish way.
Yeah, Team Rapture can be really happy with this killer result, and you can tell that this is the killer that Ryan wanted to pick, as I believe he's the captain of Rapture and probably has control of the picks. Dredge might not have been his thing, but he really showed up on the Unknown here for his team.
Ryan absolutely proving that he can also take the responsibility. Remember, it was so rough with just one player missing on the survivor roster a few minutes before the game. They had to take this emergency sub, and considering this entire context, it is one hell of a comeback here. So Renaissance has some serious comeback to do on their to-do list. The task, the stakes are pretty high. Hopefully they can do that, because otherwise we will see the tiebreaker, which would be the Singularity, not a killer that is guaranteed for either side. A lot of turns can be taken during a Singularity set. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to switch the sides. We're also saying thank you again to Prion for this solo cast that he was delivering here in order to cover me for stepping away work related. So big shout out to Prion, ladies and gentlemen. We will give him a little bit of rest. You should take a drink from the kitchen as well, and we will catch you in a few minutes with the with the Unknown on the suffocation pit. Take care. Welcome Welcome back everyone to the Suffocation Pit and the Unknown, and we had a pretty rough game for Renaissance in the previous trial. 4 generators have been repaired and then it all came to an end. That means that our killer here in this game needs a 4K on 2 generators standing. If Rapture is completing all the generators, then they would push us into the tiebreaker by taking the second set, and that's not really what you want to have as Team Renaissance. You don't want to allow Rapture to take this story of a comeback to become stronger and more confident, but it will be one hell of a difficult task, and whenever you have to go for a 4K 2 gens, you really want to have the first chase as quick as possible, some injuries and downs, and here we see 60 seconds expiring without any of that happening. So Prion, it's really not the dream start for DW here.
Not only that, Dyer, but his ruin is already gone. It was found at the main building by a survivor with counterforce, and now he's finally going to start his first chase here onto this ace. He does get the weakened status effect applied, and he's going to go for the hit. Oh, not going to get the weakened hit there, and he's able to remove it. So Blood Favor is activated, but that was only an M1 and not a UVX hit. So 2 breakable doors here is certainly an interesting choice. I think that might have something to do with behavior, as he makes it back over to the other pallet, but it's still blood favored. He's going to go for the teleport here, but it's not fast enough. He makes it back to the window and is able to drop that pallet.
And the chase around the main building can be really punishing for the killer if not being done in the perfect way. Ace will make one more vault over here, will reach the pallet as well, doesn't want to vault it too quickly. Is it going to be the successful mind game? The answer is no. However, he managed to mess that up on the killer side, but right after it's going to be the down onto Bue. So the first hook stage is coming through, but we are more than 2 minutes into the trial, so we should see some generators popping, and we do see them popping, unfortunately, with a huge regression coming in due to the pain rest. That's going to be only one objective being completed. Good start for the survivor side of Team Rapture. Remember everyone, every generator completed will be enough in order to push us into the tiebreaker with the set win, but unfortunately they're on the second generator. Now the chase with Crow here, Lithe being taken, leading to a little bit of an advantage now, leaving the check actually. Interesting decision making there, tries to play this filler pallet and then going over towards the tile here, as it's going to be more difficult to shoot the UVX when line of sight is being broken. The Unknown has to return, but doesn't go to the generator, instead teleports towards the main building and finds Ryan over there. So 2 survivors injured up here. Hopefully DW can make something out of it.
He really needs this tunnel out on the ace here, Dyer, if he's going to get this 4K2 win condition. He needs to end this chase very quickly. Goes for the UVX shot here, bounces it off the tree, but it's not going to land there. Very good pathing from Buse, and he's going to eventually go down on the short side of the pallet, but not to the UVX shot. And another generator is going to pop in the distance. Now only 2 remaining, and he cannot let a single generator go now if he wants to meet this win condition.
Now up on the hill here, a good location for the killer to hook. Usually you can take a look around, you can make sure that you're finding the rotating rescuer, so Claudette needs to be careful here that she's not just being found, also because of the illusion there. So it would be possible that we are having a quick teleportation over. Fasty, Crow, the 2 healthy survivors, more responsible for the unhook and the generators, while Ryan will stay a little bit careful, more towards the bottom side, trying to stay away from the Unknown as he can be put onto the floor with just 1 more hit. Unfortunate here that Fasty is not going to take the hit with the UVX. Would have been quite important for DW, who needs a serious recovery, because so far we are talking about a very little progress on the killer side and almost tie being reached by the survivors.
Yeah, for the people coming out there from Crow onto the ace here, who's being tunneled, and he goes for a really long range shot there. It's not going to land, and he continues to chase at this main building without breaking that pallet, which I think is a mistake. But now, finally, the chase is going to be going away from the main building. He gets a nice medium range UVX shot there, and that hallucination just dispelled right in front of his eyes. If he was just a little bit quicker on that, he would have interrupted it.
Sometimes it's just 1 second that is missing for you, and it can be really punishing nonetheless. Trying his hardest. I almost feel a little bit sad here for DW, because he's really trying. He's landing the UVX shot here and there. He's trying to get an injury here. He got his hook stage already. He's like, when we are looking on a normal condition for an unknown match, doing not too many mistakes and not performing too bad. It's just the problem that the win condition is so incredibly difficult that the survivor team is playing on the absolute luxus condition here and just needs 2 more generators in order to achieve the set win. Therefore, DW also has to keep an eye on the gens, cannot just chase any random survivor that is popping up, needs to make sure that the generators are regressing, but to get this regression in more effectively, we should see some downs.
He's got multiple survivors weakened here, and he's going over towards Ryan now. Going to dispel his weakened though, and he's waiting a little bit too long to go for these UVX shots, Dire. You have about a 3-second window between the cooldown for your shot coming off and the survivor like fully removing the weakened if they have perfect camera work. And I think he's waiting a little bit too long here, and it's causing him to miss, and the survivors are able to remove their weakened really easily.
Now trying to get the pressure in that is so necessary here for the killer, somehow trying to make sure that the survivors are somewhere fumbling, maybe a mind game that is unexpectedly going the wrong way, a quick down, a 2-tap, anything like that would really help. Is this the chance? The answer is no. Ryan able to dodge it, meaning that he can also stay on the killer long enough that the UVX effect is ultimately gone, and the killer instantly realizes if the chase on Jack would be continued, then these generators in the midsection will just pop and they are going to end game. Therefore, he has to leave the survivor one more time. It must be really painful to return so often without a down here, and I do think that DW and Renaissance are slowly realizing that this game is not at all going like it needs to go.
As he's chasing over here onto this corner of the map, but he just keeps leaving chases and coming back to kick a generator, which is really not what you want to be doing as a killer in this scenario. You need to be getting downs and hooks and using those pain resonance stacks, but the survivors of Rapture are doing such a good job to like dodge out on the shots here. They're getting off of the generators when the killer is coming, and they're just not losing their chases so far. As Chase now onto Crow at this double window, he's able to dodge out on the UVX shot, holds W over towards this TL, and he's going to get lithe, and he's just going to be gone.
Yeah, you would hope that somehow there's something coming in, right? Something that is totally unexpected, and if it would even be an internet crash on one of the survivors here, but something like a miracle must happen here. But honestly, it is a miracle to me that we haven't seen a 4th generator so far, because the survivors are clearly doing a good job here. They are making sure that the unknown is forced into leaving the chases, cannot go towards the shack, for example. Nice shot here onto Bue, and then out of nowhere, while leaving the killer in the belief that 2 generators are still to go, they are both of them going to be completed in just 1 moment, forcing us into the end game and ultimately also into the tiebreaker set for this best of 3. We are going to move forward into the Singularity on the Fractured Cowshed. That is the map that got selected for the tiebreaker, Singularity on Fractured Cowshed. And of course now Rapture with the advantage here. They had a very rough first set, then coming back feeling more confident now, realizing that Renaissance can be beaten. So I ultimately must change my prediction here, Prion, and think that Rapture is going to take this best of 3.
Yeah, momentum for Rapture now going into the tiebreaker set. And it's going to be I believe it's going to be their survivors going again as soon as we get into that. So Singularity on Fractured Cowshed is a really interesting one. I mean, we're all familiar with Singularity sets, but I don't think we've really seen any competitive play on the new Cowshed since the Cold Wind Farm was reworked.
Yeah, It's going to be an interesting one anyway, right? I'm trying to wrap my head around it, how the strategy could look there. Of course, in the main building, you have a pretty good chance to work with the cameras and the teleportation, but then you also have in the other tiles quite some openness, so the survivors need to be really careful that they are, in best case, getting these cornfield generators out of the way as quick as possible, so they are not later on when there's an unexpected teleportation happening without any resources or safety. We are going to see that Rapture is trying to get as many survivors out of the door as possible, which of course makes sense. You have the tiebreaker set coming up, so you would like to assert a little bit of dominance before doing that, making sure that Renaissance realizes that Rapture is pretty strong and that it will be very hard to beat them. DW is now returning towards the pallet, where he is still over here trying to force the pallet save, and if DW is not causing an injury onto the ace, then I doubt that he will successfully defend the slug. So that's now going to be with overcome being put to an end, and ace is moving towards the exit gate. Ryan staying in here as well. For teams, it's also always a perfect chance to make sure that you are practicing these scenarios a little bit. If you imagine that in your next competitive game, you need to make sure that you have a rescue like this working out. Situations like these are very welcome to train it in a real environment. So that's why Rapture, next to putting a signal down here, is trying to get the survivor out of the door. And honestly, Prion, after such a comeback story, a 4-man escape would definitely be really, really great for them.
It really would be dire, but the time is running out on the endgame collapse here. Something is going to have to happen here, and honestly, I doubt the Unknown is even going to pick up because the timer is getting so low.
We are all with Rapture here in the final seconds. Is it going to be enough time? That's the question. I don't think Ada calculated that well. So ultimately they lost 2 stages. So in case this was a practice for a serious situation that will appear in a tournament, they better don't repeat it like this. So yeah.
Are they going to stay in with seconds to go so that Ryan can get his deliverance off? I think they are.
Does he get that in time? Yeah.
He does get deliverance off, but I think he's going to die to the entity.
Well, yeah, I think Rapture, for the emergency plan there, in case they ever need to pull this in a tournament, they should definitely not do it like that, because that really didn't look like this was thought through. So let's see if Rapture can do a little bit more organized in the end game when it comes to the Singularity. We're switching over to the Fractured Cowshed, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Renaissance on the killer side. Again, Rapture staying on the survivor side, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back, everybody, at long last to the final trial of this match between Rapture and Renaissance. We have the Singularity on Fractured Cowshed here with DW on the killer for Team Renaissance. He's setting up his biopods, and I'm really interested to see what kind of strategy he goes for on this Cowshed map. We already have 1 survivor touching an EMP box. That's definitely the strategy that you want to go for against the Singularity. You need to get those EMPs on the field as quickly as possible if you're a survivor. As DW continuing to set up these pods, he's not really sure which one he wants to put on that generator right there, but it's definitely a slow start, Dire.
Yeah, definitely very slow. I mean, you can maybe profit later on when you have a couple of cameras here and there. But ultimately, as we said in the previous set, you want to make sure that you get a first chase, first injury out of the way. So it's always feeling bad on the killer side when you feel like you are clearly not getting this pressure onto the survivors. The Dragon's Grip is a very interesting choice here, so we should expect some teleportations going on towards the survivors that are a bit greedy on hopping back onto the generators, though we have also seen, especially during Season 9, whenever this perk was brought, that Dragon's Grip actually turned out to be quite a gamble. Not every survivor team is allowing you to be punished from that, or after one time they are careful enough to not touch the gen. And if the slowdown is really worth it that you receive from one survivor, being careful about a generator is a different question. Though we are going over towards this filler pallet here next to the shack, a couple of teleports there. We see the advantage now from the slow start, from going for a few pods and a few cameras over here. That's going to be straight up onto Ace again. He's doing a good job here so far on this filler pallet. One generator has already been completed. Mind games now being needed, but it seems like Crow is successful, but another run will not be successful in this case. Two generators though, Prion. I think Rapture can be quite happy with what we see so far.
Yes, this was really good pathing from Crow, Dyer. He used all of the shack without taking a single hit. And was that a sabotage?
Yep.
Some of the toolbox is missing there from Ryan, but the hook is still going to come in. So ultimately, the sabotage play not going to work out from Ryan, but it was a really good effort. So Dragon's Grip going to be applied to this gen along with the Pop Goes the Weasel and the Eruption. We'll have to see if the Dragon's Grip is actually going to come into play here.
Now, main building action a little bit here around Crow. Killer is not leaving the area just yet. Was potentially hoping that there's a survivor in position already. And then we could take a quick injury while confusing the survivor team a little bit more. Claudette here on the main building with one of the pods as well. Not possible to teleport onto her. Positioned herself really good. The teleportation is coming out now. Should be the time for the survivors where they go for the rescue onto Crow, as the killer is currently busy over here. Claudette should take an injury and we should see the return towards Crow. Yeah, the strategy is clear. Killer wants to tunnel out that survivor as quick as possible, making sure that the survivor team is being cut down to 3. Next generator about to be completed. Rapture doing a pretty good job, and we see a successful locker juke being taken. Ryan collecting one more point for the MVP medal here.
Yeah, and Crow is unhooked in the distance, but it doesn't look like there's been a For the People play coming in just yet. Deliverance maybe charging here in a second for Fasty, as it's going to be dead hard here for Crow, and Heal is going to be coming in now. Doesn't look like DW was able to find this reset, as even Ryan is going to get picked up in the distance here by the Deliverance player. So that's going to probably be the... No, it looks like the survivors are actually going to split up so that they don't spread that slipstream effect. And Ryan going to be continuing in chase at the same tile he was at before, but he doesn't make anything. He does not have enough distance. He's just going to go down once again. But Rapture is really happy about this because Ryan is a fresh hook and there are no like fresh hook oriented perks in play here.
Now we are going to see that the survivor team is trying to get the pressure back. They are currently forced off a little bit here. We have seen good caretaking by the killer of the survivors, a couple of hook stages here and there. The Dragon's Grip not really coming into clutch as much as we would love to see it. We don't see the survivors constantly being in the exposed effect. That's also because the killer is a little bit too busy with chasing the survivors around the map. The chases are taking too long, even with the teleports, so you don't really have the time to consistently take care of the generators here and there. And that's going to be the problem for the killer. Bray is going to take the injury here, though. Must make sure that he's staying alive for a significant longer time if Team Rapture wants to continue their good run that they had so far. 100% healed onto Ryan, though, so we only have one injured survivor. Overall, survivors clearly in the dominant position. Killer more running after them than doing anything for himself. Dragon's Grip has a potential here now on this generator, but we talked about it, Prion. It's a little bit of a gamble perk, and I hope that he's able to do a little bit more with his perk build in a couple of seconds here.
Yeah, the survivors are playing this quite slowly, Dyer. They are choosing to keep distance from the killer and attack these generators methodically without losing too many health states. Dragon's Grip now exposing Ryan here. The perk has been revealed and he's immediately going to lie the way from the gen.
Then there is the next survivor around the generator right here. Fasty was around the area. We are going to find out that this is going to be the injury. Deliverance is active on that survivor, so not really the guy you want to chase right now. Of course, the killer not always aware who has the deliverance. You can only guess by who's playing very aggressively for the unhook, who's around the hook area, who's trying to take these altruism actions, but it's always a little bit of a gamble at the end. Killer trying to scout out the next survivor that is working on a generator, not really able to find anyone, so we go a little bit back into resetting the cameras, trying to take an overview of the map here and there. And again, I feel like same as in the previous trial for Team Rapture, we have these 2 generators to go, but they are not popping. So I wonder if we're going to see them bam bam back to back again as we saw against the Unknown, or if DW is actually making a little bit of a comeback here.
Yeah, I would assume that Rapture is trying to pop these generators like close in time to each other, just like they did in the Unknown set. So another hit going to be coming in onto Bue here, and he's going to run away from that main building generator. He is going to be teleported onto by the killer though, and I don't think he has any distance here to make that pallet gym pallet. Maybe faking a pallet save there, but DW is not going to fall for that. So that's going to be another hook onto Bue, and looks like the main building generator has pretty decent progress. That other one in the corner is only about 30% though, so still moving quite slowly here for Rapture, and the problem is going to be that the pallets are going to get thinner and thinner on this map. I mean, these cold wind maps post rework, they don't have much to begin with. So reset coming in onto Ryan elsewhere on the map. Bue is on the hook, and it looks like it's going to be Fasty going for the unhook, but Killer has found the reset dire.
Yeah, Killer with the reset, and we also saw that this tunnel out strategy onto Crow has not really worked out so far. We do have the 2 hook stages. That's definitely not too bad on one survivor, but you ultimately really want to try to get into the 3v1 as quick as possible. And here we have a very confident survivor showing up, who knows exactly that the killer is under pressure here, asserting dominance a little bit on this pallet. We love to see that, yet the teleportation is coming out twice, putting the survivor into the difficult mind game. Not going to work out. That's going to be the stun as well, and now too much time has passed to go for the quick kick on the pallet when you're coming out of the teleportation. So another teleport being taken right here. Vasti now with the injury back, and another survivor being around in the area as well. So we see the teamwork aspect. 2 survivors though are currently not around, so they are 100% not working on the generator. Surprising to see that. I was expecting that Rapture is doing a little bit more with this situation than this.
Yeah, but another generator did get done dire, so they're down to 1 now, and they are all grouping up to do resets here. Rapture is playing this so slow, and I honestly can't blame them here, because with how much they are all getting hit by the slipstreams, one mistake here could mean that they all die near the generators. With how quickly the Singularity can teleport between survivors that are slipstreamed, looks like a big chunk of them are going to be EMP'd now. Only 1 more slipstream ball remaining for DW, as he's going to find Fasty here, going back towards the generators now. He's on the harvester, but these survivors have been doing such a good job of just getting hit and like running away. Nobody has died in the generator setup so far. It's a loose 3-gen here for DW, but there's significant progress on the corner gen over there on his right.
And now a lot of back and forth going on. The killer trying to have the control back. How I was thinking there for a second that there was a survivor, but I was actually wrong. The survivor's over there in the corner of this tile. We just saw them sneaking away. Is it going to be enough time though to even get into a chase over here? Because the active generators are somewhere else. Way is not entirely sure if the killer is moving over, but we do see the Singularity taking this edge off the fractured cowshed. In EMP being taken by our survivors as well. I must say I kind of like how they are not too much focusing on the final generator. Instead they are taking care of the resets, even though in my opinion that was a little bit too slow, but they're taking care of the resets, they're taking the EMPs, being aware that the pots are placed in some difficult spots. So I overall really like what the Rapture is showing, and they are also not taking too many hook stages. This is usually the challenge, right? When you are staying in the trial a little bit too long, when you are taking care of these extra objectives, sometimes you're forgetting about the final generator and then you find yourself in the 4K out of nowhere. But here it seems to be the perfect balance that the team is finding, and Rapture looks really confident.
Yeah, and the middle generator is going to be done, Dyer. The main building is completed as Fasti is exposed from Dragon's Grip, and he was thinking about teleporting onto him there, but he was able to EMP it right as that last generator got done. So really clean play from Rapture here, Dyer, and I think you were absolutely correct that they were going to be coming into this tiebreaker game with all the momentum.
Now, back towards the main building where we have seen probably 50% of the action in this trial so far. Crow is around, not successful with the body block though, trying to get at least some stages in, but the exit gate is ready to go here as well. The other survivors are coming around, and that should be 1, 2, 3, 4 survivors walking out of the door. 4 stages, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4 stages overall in this game. What a great game from our survivor team. Rapture developing themselves from an emergency sub, losing the first set in a dominant way, into the absolute comeback of today. And if Team Renaissance is somehow able to balance that one more time, is something that we are going to find out right after this very short break. Everyone, housekeeping first. In the previous trial there was the family photo being brought on the Singularity, which is a forbidden add-on. As we have played out the trial, it is up to Team Rapture if they want to count it like this or if they enforce the replay. They were pretty happy, understandably, with the survivor side, so it is staying with the 4 stages. However, half of a hook stage is deducted from the killer, so we are having 3.5 hook stages on 3 individual survivors. Makes this already difficult win condition even more difficult, yet having seen Rapture before and how they are playing now since the second set, I feel like we should see a lot more than 4 stages anyway.
Yeah, so first chase here onto SH at the shack. He's able to get the teleport there, breaks the shack pallet immediately. That is the 2 strongest pallets on this map immediately gone. Shack pallet and cow tree pallet. So chase continuing now outside of the shack. He's going to hold W away. Going to be getting a EMP here coming in from a teammate. And that is going to be the first hit, but he's not going to be able to follow up with the teleport. Another sighting of Dragon's Grip here, as well as Rapid Brutality for Ryan, is very interesting, as he's looking to get line of sight onto SH here, but he's doing a really good job of pathing around objects and not allowing Ryan to get that teleport. He finally does get it. SH going to accept his fate here and go towards the edge map, but that was quite a bit of time bought for Team Renaissance.
Yeah, SH or Sasua as he's known from the past, pretty quickly on the floor here. Pump corner, we call this in the DBDLeague, when you're trying to waste a little bit of extra seconds by going towards the edge of the map, trying to get a little bit of extra seconds for your team. And the team is already lurking around, being aware that they should get the survivor back into the game as quick as possible. The other 2 survivors working on the generators, making making sure that the progress is keeping up a good speed. And it's going to be, I believe, the very typical yet very efficient strategy in DBD. That is the tunneling of the survivor. We see a little bit of help coming in here with the EMP, so at least Sasua won't have a teleportation on himself, but that doesn't really matter, Prion. I feel like taking a hit would have been the right call here, but the decisive strike is going to do a little bit of work for now. Let's see if maybe our survivor is returning back this time to get Sasua a little bit of a helping hand.
And you can tell that Ryan really is a main of the Singularity here, and I'll explain why in a second after we get this next down onto our Dwight. Teleport going to be coming in. He's going to be going towards the main building now. Not sure if he makes this pallet though. He's going to have to go for another teleport, chaining it to the next tile, and he's going to have a pallet gem here with another teammate with another EMP. So good job from Renaissance here. He's going to have to place another pod. Breaks the pallet as well, and it looks like good pathing here from Dwight. He's going to be going around the back side of the tile, back out into the corn. And is there another hit waiting here? I'm not quite sure, Dire. And he actually makes this tile. Great pathing from him. And Ryan only has one hook stage here. He needs to get this down pretty quickly, or else this is going to start looking dangerous for Rapture. He is going to get the down now. So allow me to explain that every time Ryan places a camera that he's meaning to use in a chase instead of patrolling a generator, he immediately replaces it as soon as it pods the survivor. And that's keeping his camera placements very efficient and not allowing him to like be cycling his cameras and having them disappear from gens. But despite that, the gens have gone really fast for Team Renaissance, haven't they, Dire?
Absolutely, yeah. They are going so fast that you are almost worried now for Ryan, because, yeah, of course, with the penalty, it's all looking a little bit better even for Team Rapture here, but you still need to make sure that you are getting 4 stages on 3 individual survivors. And so far, there is a realistic chance that Team Renaissance is outplaying Ryan. If they are going for Sasua and in the meanwhile having one more chase that is wasting quite some time, they might be able to smash through the final generator all the way into the end game and then getting the win for themselves. Of course, it will be really difficult here to successfully do, but Rapture not on the safe side just yet. Survivors about to move in. We have seen Not in the cornfield lurking by. They need to make sure though that it's not ending in a trade here, because I think Ryan right now is happy with any hook stage that is coming out. Not would be the third one, and after this survivor is being put on, you just need one more hook stage and you have to win. You could even camp Not into the second stage here. So Ryan looking strong for Team Rapture. I feel like when we would be talking about 6-7 stages Prion, then Renaissance would have definitely pulled it here. 4 is just very, very hard to achieve.
Yeah, and Not actually has the deliverance, so Ryan just needs one more hook stage from any other survivor, and he's going to find another slipstream there onto the healthy survivor. Dragon's Grip activating on the Yuichi. It's finally happening, Dire. He actually gets the teleport onto the survivor that is exposed by Dragon's Grip, and Chase now is, he's gonna stay on reflection here. He has another pallet. Dragon's Grip is running out quickly here. He's going to need to get the hit with this next teleport. Are we finally going to see Dragon's Grip value? But I think Reflection makes this window. There's not a window there. He might actually be going down. And finally, Dire, we see the Dragon's Grip value. This is why they've been bringing this perk, and this is going to secure the win for Rapture.
Congratulations, Team Rapture. Very insane still. We were very worried when we heard about the emergency sub. We were very worried when we heard about, or when we saw the first set of today, because that was Yeah, not the performance we are used to normally when we're looking at Team Rapture. We were expecting something way stronger, and then of course through the second and third set, especially the tiebreaker, we are having such an increase of the performance. You could even say that Team Rapture has warmed up over the entire best of 3, and that's of course also giving them a very, very nice position in their group, where they are currently, if we are looking at the results that we have seen, standing on the 3rd place. But with the win over Renaissance, they are making sure that they are in the playoffs. At least with the group currently standing like this, they would be in the top 8 and continuing in the All Hallows League. Very good job to the Team Rapture. They can definitely look forward to the playoffs, knowing that they have the confidence and the team chemistry to pull back from a difficult situation. Yet, Prion, for the playoffs, I would hope that Team Rapture is not having a repetition of the first set of today, because they will need to be consistent if they want to be successful in the next rounds.
Yeah, they're gonna have to tighten up their team play on those sets that they did not pick, familiarize themselves with the selections of the other teams that they're going to be playing against. But overall, Rapture can be really happy with their performance today, especially like you said, having to use an emergency sub and still having it work out like this is really great for them. As Chase now continuing on to Not and Skang at the same time, and looks like Prion is going to land a hit there onto Not. He is the Deliverance survivor, has one hook on him so far, but he's going to instead go over to this generator. He's not checking the camera. It must be EMP then, as he knows that the Dwight is here. This is the generator that Renaissance is really trying to finish as the one of the 3 that has the most progress. Playing this window here, he's going to look into the camera, and nice line of sight breaks there from the Dwight. Very good pathing there, and it's definitely important to do that against the Singularity's cameras. And I think that was that another Dragon's Grip right there, or was not injured?
I think there was another Dragon script that we have seen right there. Yeah, that survivor was healthy. So there's also the interesting fact, right, that we see a lot more benefit coming out of Dragon script than in the previous trial. So when we are comparing these 2 killers together, both obviously having the same idea, trying to defend the generators with this exposed status effect, but then it sometimes really also comes down to the question, what killer player can enforce the game plan that he had? It's very nice that you have a lot of good ideas. It's very nice that you're cooking up with your perk build, but when you are not able to get this going, and if you are then struggling to get the perk revenue, we could say, that you are expecting for your match, then it can be really, really punishing. It's also always good to see when the penalty is not coming in clutch here with the 6 stages. At the moment, that is not the case. So Sasua, Nod, and Skang should move out of the door with a reflection. It's not too known just yet, but the For the People play is making sure. And then he fell to the side. He gets For the People and falls to the side. Someone send this man a card with our condolences. This is too sad to watch. Reflection actually staying in the trial, and
that was so sad, Dyer.
Here.
And that happened
so
because
sad.
That happened because after the For the People play, the survivors still both had collision, so Reflection was kind of shoved to the edge of the wall as Sasua actually left the trial, and Reflection didn't have the momentum to go out the door when he got downed. So that's really unlucky, but really good performance from Rapture. They're going to take this series 2-1, and I think that is going to be my last cast of the day, going to be handing it back off to Dyer. So thank you everybody for having me, and also for bearing with me on the solo cast.